A portion of this video is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. For more information about Sheath Underwear, visit the link in the description or wait till the end of this video to hear more from me. We are currently in a situation where history is just being copy and pasted. Donald Trump is using the rhetoric and the policy objectives of Adolf Hitler from the 1930s, knowing, hoping, banking on the fact that Americans largely don't know European history, or world history for that matter. He said something yesterday in the Oval Office about Canada, just denigrating Justin Trudeau and the nation of Canada, that their prime minister, their elected official through their parliamentary process is the governor, indicating that he still wants Canada to be the 51st state in the country, telling them you're going to have lower taxes, while disrespecting their leader. It's remarkable. But the rhyming aspect of this, the copy and pasting aspect of history here, is that he's taken a play right out of Adolf Hitler's playbook. In 1938, for those of you who aren't up on the history of that particular era, of that particular region, it impacted the world. In 1938, Adolf Hitler invaded both Austria and Czechoslovakia. He wanted them to cede Sudetenland to him, and it was all under the guise of, you need protection. I'm going to protect you. You have not English speakers, that would be us with Canada. You have German speakers. The same thing Vladimir Putin has done in Ukraine, that I'm there to protect the Russian speakers and the cultural Russians in Ukraine, even though they live in a sovereign nation. Lots of Ukrainians speak Russian. Anyway, now I'm getting onto that. So that's what Hitler did. Under the guise of protection. That's the element here that is really the copy and paste. We already know Donald Trump is very fond of Adolf Hitler. We know that the people he's put into the most powerful positions within his government on day one, the day right after he was inaugurated, you got Elon Musk throwing up what is certainly not reminiscent of a Nazi salute at all, right? Well, I mean, why would you try to make these connections, Jesse? You're being an alarmist. This is just hyperbole. But if you know me, and you've watched anything I've done over the course of the last several years, I'm tired of giving these fucks the benefit of the doubt. Not only tired of it, I stopped a long time ago because I read the messaging. I see where the rubber hits the road. I understand what their intent is, what their goals are, by watching what they do, what they say, who they are, who they put in power. So it's no surprise. I mean, it is shocking, to say the least, but it's not surprising that this is what's taking place. So I'm going to play this clip for you of Donald Trump in the Oval Office, just copy and pasting remarks from Adolf Hitler, except you can just, rather than him talking about Canada or Czechoslovakia and Austria, he's talking about Canada. It's dangerous. Watch this.
Mr. President, how are you associate ongoing with Canada? There was obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have perfect military protection. They don't have any military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have Chinese ships, you have a lot of ships out there, and people are in danger. This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need our protection, yes.
Who's threatening Canada other than we, the United States, through Donald Trump? Who? Canada's not a threat. There's no national security threat to Canada. The Russian and the Chinese ships, the China. No, nobody's threatening Canada. We, in the United States, could be well served if culturally we were more like Canada. Largely decent people. Of course, there's aspects and facets and pockets of assholes in Canada because we're all human beings, and in every group of people, it's not one thing. Nobody's a monolith. Canadians are not monolithically friendly and apologetic and, all the tropes and the stereotypes. Donald Trump is absolutely doing the thing that Adolf Hitler did, and it should be shocking to you. It should be alarming to you. It should be alarming to you if you're a Canadian, certainly. But if you're an American, it should alarm you that our president, grosses me out just to say it, is threatening invasion, a takeover, to make Canada the 51st state because they'll pay less taxes. But what do you get? There's a trade-off between what you're taxed and what you receive in return, because collectively, when you all put in taxes, you should get some benefit back from that. We pay a lot of taxes here in the United States, and what benefit do we get? When I had cancer a couple years ago, tens of thousands of dollars after all of my $1,500 a month premiums. $1,500 a month I pay for health insurance. And my treatment wasn't free. But they have a collectivized understanding in Canada about healthcare. Is it perfect? No, of course not. But is it better than what we got? Yeah. Hands down. Point blank. Period. No argument. It's not even debatable. It's better. It's not better for healthcare companies and uber wealthy individuals who are invested in those companies to provide a degraded amount of care so they can make more profit. Yeah, of course not for them. But for everyday Canadians, and it would be great if we could get a system like this, Americans, it would be wonderful. So people don't go bankrupt because they got sick by no fault of their own. Copy and pasting of history right before our eyes. And I wonder how many people are going to be talking about this particular aspect of it. It's not like, look at me, praise me, great. We all need to be keeping an eye on the history. This is why one of the reasons why the Republican Party doesn't want to teach history in this country. They don't want to teach a fulsome understanding of the root causes of fascism and authoritarianism and the wars that we fought. American men died in World War II fighting to kill Nazis, to end the despotic reign of Adolf Hitler. Unfortunately, he killed himself and didn't die at the end of a bayonet of an American or Russian or other allied soldier. Unfortunately, he went out on his own terms and not on ours. Certain things that are copy and pasted are okay, I guess, right? Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. You can email me. Am I being too radical? daily@dollemore.com. I don't think I am. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. I'm going to stop before I get in trouble. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'd love to. If you're still here at this point in the video and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Do me a solid. Get me to 1 million subscribers. And together we can change hearts and minds. I love and appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. I talk nearly every day about how divided we are as a country and the havoc that this division wreaks. But not all divisions are bad, right? As a mathematical concept, for instance, division allows you to split things into equal parts, allowing for equal shares. Division of labor has, for thousands of years, allowed humans to evolve their efficiency and specialization when working on certain tasks. And you can ask any kid to tell you that dinner is far better when the meat is divided from the veg. And what's more annoying than when you're sitting at a cramped table or out in the humid weather than having your meat smashed into your two veg? Is the meat and veg metaphor working here? It's time to divide and conquer with Sheath. Sheath makes the most comfortable boxer briefs I have ever worn. Regular boxers are just too loose and bunchy and not great. And briefs are just a smush fest. Sheath are the solution. Head to sheath.com and use promo code Dollemore to score 20% off and upgrade to the most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear. I'm wearing a pair right now, and indeed, that may be all I'm wearing under the desk here. But really, sheaths are the only underwear I wear. Absolutely fact. Their testicular tech features dual pouches to keep your mane apart from your sides. More dinner metaphors. Note, if you're not into the division for some reason, you don't have to use the dual pouches at all. Just throw your sheaths on like regular pair of underwear and you're good to go. Also, Sheath's stretchy fabric is super soft and made with moisture-wicking technology to keep your president and his cabinet cool and comfortable throughout the rigors of the day. I love my sheaths all the time, but they are particularly clutch in the sticky heat of DC summers, which is basically like 9 months out of the year. They were invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq. The idea for sheath came from discomfort in harsh environments. As a former Marine stationed in that part of the world, I get the inspiration. The airflow meshes are my personal favorite, but Sheath has tons of excellent styles and designs. Pick a pair and Sheath will hand them to your doorstep nearly instantly thanks to blindingly fast shipping and amazing customer service. Also, Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders. So with your purchase, you're making the world a better place too. Upgrade your undergarments, score 20% off right now when you head to sheath.com and use code Dollemore. Divide and conquer your discomfort with Sheath underwear.